Star Wars Santa here. My thoughts on season 3, the first half of the season. The episodes viewing in chronological order.
If you don't remember, when we came over from my channel, we were talking about Cad Bane and the arc from 8, 22, and 9. Well, right here is where Santa picks back up. I hope you enjoy.
Great 3-part episode in Cad Bane's development, and definitely worth watching. Again, Jabba the Hutt's involved. We see R2 and C-3PO on a little side mission. And then the second part of that, we get Bane and Aura Singh working together. Again, Aura comes into play time and time again throughout the prequel era, and here we have her again. Bane is working with her, and then the part 3, Hunt for Ziro. Again, we're working with the Hutt clan, and so there's some involvement there, and Ziro the Hutt is the focus of it. But again, we have Cad Bane. Really, here he ends up with a conflict directly with Obi-Wan and this other Jedi Knight, Quinlan Vos. So Cad Bane, the interesting part of, that I found in this episode specifically, is when Cad Bane and the Jedi Knights, right? These are Jedi Masters, Obi-Wan and Quinlan Vos. They go to head with Cad Bane, trying to bring him in due to some crimes he's committed, and Cad Bane holds his own. He does really, really well. Again, why he's such a great villain compared against what we see with Grievous all the time, where he constantly loses to Obi-Wan and ends up kind of running with his tail between his legs, on all fours, kind of scurrying away like a spider. Cad Bane does very, very well, and he escapes, but not so much as a runaway as he was able to overpower them to get the opportunity to get away. It feels very, very different as far as how he escapes capture. And during this, I just I wanted to note that there's a point where Cad Bane gets a lightsaber, and he goes saber to saber with Obi-Wan, and he does very well here. I know within the Star Wars fandom, the community as a whole, there's a lot of controversy when non-Jedi get hold of lightsabers and use them. We've seen cases where they're just used as tools, like when Han Solo cuts open the Tauntaun for Luke for shelter. But we've also seen Grievous, who's a non-force sensitive, use like 4 lightsabers at the same time. But we also learned that Grievous had been trained in lightsaber skills by Dooku. So perhaps there's some argument to be made there about Grievous having enhanced reflexes due to his species, and this mechanical engineering that's been added on. He's more machine than creature at this point, but perhaps there's an argument to be made there. But here, Cad Bane, who's a pirate, right? He's a mercenary. He's a kind of a lone gun guy. He takes a lightsaber and goes toe-to-toe with a Jedi Master, Obi-Wan. And in that, Cad Bane not only holds his own, but it could be argued that he is effective in defending himself and in pushing Obi-Wan, slowing him enough for him to get advantage over Obi-Wan and other means. So here we have a non-force sensitive in Cad Bane. Again, he's another type of race of people, but he's not known to be a force sensitive. And here he does quite well with a lightsaber. So I just wanted to note that, and I understand the controversy among the Star Wars fandom, the community, on non-force users being effective with lightsabers. And there's a lot of argument about how Rey does too well with a lightsaber against somebody who's been trained in Ben Kenobi, right? Or Ben Kenobi, my goodness. Ben Solo, right? She goes toe-to-toe with Ben, and Ben was trained by Luke. But here we have Cad Bane going toe-to-toe with Obi-Wan, who's a Jedi Master at this point. So I wanted to throw that out there. Then this half of the season ends with another three-parter. This three-parter is episode 10, episode 11, and episode 15. So the all in season, well, episode 3, 10, episode 3, or season 3, 10, season 3, 11, and then back to season 2, 15, as we go chronologically through. And this one is primarily involved with the Republic, the Senate, and kind of Palpatine's long game as he's been amassing power and control and showing how the Senate's ineffectual in moving. This kind of ties in with that. Padme is trying to negotiate for, or trying to propose that the Senate negotiate a peace and versus continuing the war effort. And Anakin argues that the Republic needs to restore order, be more forceful. So here we see a separation already between Anakin and Padme on how to approach diplomatic issues. And we see that in the prequels pretty well, but here we see that kind of develop further as we kind of get more of a context around Anakin's story arc. So this trilogy as a whole, or this three-part episode or story, is, I think, helpful as far as understanding more about Anakin and his transfer over to the dark side, and how his motivation is being carried through. Also, Padme and her political prowess, she does quite well. Ahsoka is kind of a protege of Padme through here. So rather than being really strongly tied to Anakin and his kind of pro-control, right? The Republic needs to restore order. Ahsoka is mentoring with Padme and this art of negotiation, and at the end of the episode, Ahsoka has learned that the politics of war are not as black and white as she once thought. It's this getting another perspective, the one from Padme. So in my view, this three-parter is really important as far as understanding Ahsoka's development and Anakin's story arc. So that was episode 10. Episode 11 continues on this investigation from an assassination, and the Senate is thrown into a pro-war mood. They're really pushing heavy to increase war. And here we get Bail Organa together with other iconic people that we've seen before. And you see Bail Organa with Padme Amidala, Mon Mothma, and then this other character. So Mon Mothma is involved in this story arc. You see her as a senator. We see Bail Organa as a senator, and of course Padme as a senator. So this continues on. We get a little bit of Dooku undermining things, Palpatine undermining things, but at the end, Palpatine doesn't get his way, and he laments a little bit. He says he's upset. You could tell that he's upset. He mentions being thwarted, having all this power, all this control, yet one person can turn things upside down through a vote. And he's playing a long game. Here he's had a bit of a setback, and he kind of admits it to us as viewers, but he's playing a longer game, and we see that played out in the third part, where through the disruption, through this investigation, through all the turmoil that's going on related to the assassination attempt and the investigation, the Senate, again, is there in very pro-war mood, and through all the disruption that happens, the Palpatine's long game's played out. And the bill to continue the war funding, to increase war funding, and the build out of more clone troopers is approved. So that's the three-part episode. I think it shows us a good bit of insight into Anakin, his story arc. Padme, certainly as a politician, involvement with Bail Organa, and again with Mon Mothma. And then Ahsoka learning another point of view and a good view of Palpatine's long game. Good 3-part series. So that ends up this first half review of season 3, and we'll be back to talk about the second half in another video. Until then, may the Force be with you. Ho, ho, ho. Bye.
Thank you for coming to Star Wars Santa's channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and may the Force be with you.